Manga-Waido.
My name is Takumi Murai. I'm a mechanic. I've always liked cars, so I was happy to go to school to become a mechanic and find a job working at an auto shop. The factory I worked at was a little sketchy, but I loved the job, so I almost completely ignored my personal life. Then one day, a text showed up on my phone. Huh? Juri Matsumoto? Why? I graduated from a high school that was very heavy on tech and mechanical engineering. Matsumoto-san wasn't taking many courses on stuff like that, and she was considered the school's most beautiful girl.
It's been so long, you remember me? I know this is sudden, but there's something I want to talk to you about. Can I see you sometime?
With just us? Wasn't she going out with, Hiroto? And Shimama Hiroto was one of the most prominent delinquents in school, and he always looked down on me since we went to the same middle school. It's trauma that I don't want to dig up. Of course, I didn't want to go out with her knowing that she was dating him, so I wanted to ask why she wanted to meet up. She said that she broke up with that cheating idiot. She wanted to talk to me, so I figured I'd see her.
About Hiroto, he's always around women, always angry and violent too. He's just horrible, so I broke up with him.
I see, that's rough. He was mean to me too. It was more or less just complaining for the whole time about him. Since I was also a victim of his behavior, it was very relatable. She called me up a few more times and I kept comforting her. Then out of the blue...
Takumi-kun, you're so kind. I think I've fallen for you.
She would often say things like, at first I thought she was just mocking me. She would often say things like that. At first I thought she was just mocking me, or this was some kind of prank, but eventually I started feeling like maybe she wasn't lying. Then...
You're loyal and hardworking. You're so much better than Takumi. Please go out with me.
Is there any man that would be able to withstand a girl saying this? I ended up saying yes, and we started going out that day. I work late and can't really spend much time in private. I felt a little guilty, so when we did go on dates, I made sure to take her out to nice places. At first, I was a little worried by how strong she came on, but her bright personality really drew me in. By 3 months in, I was more into her than she was into me. Then one day...
I want to go over to your house. I'm always in a taxi because we drink, but I want you to come pick me up now.
She suggested. It had been the first time that I'd come to pick up a girl, so I was pretty nervous. But I went to pick her up when...
What? Seriously?
She went home after looking severely disappointed and then didn't answer her phone at all. I thought maybe I'd made her upset, so I called her a few times, but she wouldn't answer. Once she finally answered...
What is that stupid tiny car? You were driving a little Italian car?
Italian? You mean the car that I was working on regularly at the shop? I was driving it around to make sure there aren't any problems with it. Is that why you thought it was my car?
No way.
What's wrong with that?
I guess you don't understand, so I'll just be honest with you. I'm not going to go out with some boring guy like you.
What's going on?
That's it. Bye.
I was shocked by the sudden turn of events. In other words, she had just seen me in another person's car and thought I was rich or something, so she reached out to me. I knew there was no way she would be into me. I felt angry at myself and at her. I was all sad when I headed to a bar that I was a regular at after work. The store manager likes cars too, so we got along, and I even looked at his car on my off time. I came by this store before the weekend so I could really unwind, but...
Oh, there he is.
Yo, nerd, it's been a while. What? What are you doing here? Hiroto and Juri were waiting for me at that bar.
You remember that you used to tell me that you go to the store before weekends? I was wondering what kind of store it was. Man, talk about broke and beat up.
You're still just as dirty and lame as I remembered. Why are you following Juri around, huh? Huh? What do you mean? Don't act like you don't know. You mess with my girl and you're gonna pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. Hiroto kept trying to call me out on things, but I didn't remember any of what he was saying. The gist of it was that Juri hadn't broken up with Hiroto. There's a misunderstanding. I didn't know you two were still dating, and she was the one that reached out to me. She wouldn't talk to a nerd like you. Don't come up with excuses. The next second, Hiroto poured beer on me. Yeah, you think that you're gonna get away with this? You messed with my girl, so what'd you expect?
If you can't do something about it, do it.
Hiroto ignored me, sitting there, and I lost the words. I'm gonna go now. You're all dirty. I was just sitting there clapping for him when they left together. I was soaked in beer and stunned. The manager brought me a towel, but I told him that I was fine and left the store quietly. I couldn't get on the train like this, so I wanted to get a cab, but I was soaked, so no one let me in. My girlfriend betrayed me, and now I can't even get home. I wasn't sure what the hell to do, so I was just walking aimlessly when I saw an old man that looked troubled next to a car. He must have broken down. Now was the time I need to be kind to people. I spoke to him and he said, "Oh yeah, my car stopped working all of a sudden. I don't have my cell with me, so I can't call anyone." It's unfortunate. I'm a mechanic, so if you want, I could take a look. That's very kind of you. I used some of the tools that were in the trunk to try to fix the car so that it would at least start. This was just a temporary fix, so I told him that he needed to go to his regular shop to get it looked at. I was about to leave when... "Your clothes seem dirty. Want to come over to my place? I can lend you some clothes." No, I'm gonna get your car dirty." "It's an old car anyway. Don't worry, come on." Honestly, I was so happy to encounter kindness like this. I ended up accepting his offer. We had made it back to his house.
Huh? Takumi-kun?
Misa Nogami-san? I knew her name because she was in the same class as me, but I hadn't talked to her before. I just remember a quiet girl that was forced to run errands of Jory's clique. After Misa-san heard about what happened from her grandpa, I was able to get some of her brother's clothes. I told her that I wanted to come by to thank her on a later day, so I wanted her contact info. We exchanged numbers and headed home. After I got home and checked my phone, I noticed she had sent me a goodnight message. She's a goddess. The small gift with a cat telling me goodnight healed my torn-up heart. A few days later, I went back to her house to return her clothes.
Thank you so much for my grandpa. What a coincidence, though, huh?
Seriously, thank you for your clothes, too. I'm glad you had a brother. We talked about everything that had been happening around us and nostalgia from when we were in high school. It was so comfortable being around her, not even comparable to when I was around Jory. I didn't notice because I was too shocked before, but she had grown up into a beautiful woman. I'm sure she worked hard to change her image. Completely different from myself. I just maintained.
Can I ask what happened that night?
The night that I had beer poured on me. I was a little worried about what to say because it was kind of lame, but I wanted someone to hear me out, so I explained everything that had happened.
That's horrible.
Right? I'm a serious kind of loser. I haven't changed at all from high school.
Oh no, they're the ones that are in the wrong. You managed to find your dream job and you've been moving forward. When you were in high school, you ignored all of the hate and kept pushing forward to your dreams. I loved that about you. You just kept pushing forward.
Eh?
Who the hell even is Jory? Hiroto didn't even bother listening to your side of the story.
Misa-san.
Oh, sorry. I've just been yapping off.
I didn't realize there was someone that felt that way about me. I suddenly felt a burst of courage and made a decision. Thank you, Misa-san. You pushed me to do something about this. Will you come with me?
Of course.
A month later, I found myself at the bar again. The other day, I told Jory that I wanted to apologize to her formally and remove any misunderstanding, so I wanted her to come to that bar again. So, something about misunderstandings. Just beg if we might forgive you. Huh? Why do I have to apologize? You two are the ones that have to apologize to me. What? I took out my phone and played a certain video. It was Hiroto yelling at me and pouring beer on me. I asked the manager for the security footage and had him give it to me. I'm going to the police with this. What?
The police?
You know Misa Nogami, one of our classmates. She works at a legal office now, and her brother is a really good lawyer. You're probably gonna be arrested for assault.
Misa? The geek Misa? No way, that can't be true.
You trying to screw us? What? You're just a geek! I'm so scared, but I wasn't about to back down now. I grabbed his arm as strong as I could. Ow! Huh, you're pretty fragile, huh? I work with heavy things every day, so I might be a little more in shape than Mr. Suit and Tie over here. Let go! Don't mess with a mechanic! What's wrong with doing what I want to do? How long has it been since we graduated? Don't keep dragging on crap from the past like that. Have you no shame? Shut up! Oh, and by the way, I wasn't following her around. Jory was the one that messaged me. And here, this is your proof. I showed him the text from Jory. After reading the text of her telling me she broke up with me. Jory, you bitch!
No, Takumi-kun, I was just messing with you. I didn't mean to hurt anyone. You had a little fun spending time with me, right? So please, forgive me.
No way. Misa-san is so much cuter than you, by the way. Acting like a child is pretty cringy, so stop. Damn it! Jory, stop ignoring my conversations! I didn't realize you were such an easy slut. Give me all my money back! Give me all my money back!
What? You barely make any money. If you had made more money, we wouldn't be here.
They started yelling at each other completely, forgetting my existence. Ugh, I'm over it. They were yelling at each other and making a scene, so the manager called the cops. They were thrown out of the bar. Afterwards, I submitted a report to the police, like I said, and Hiroto wouldn't admit what he had done. He was fired because of that. Afterwards, Misa-san's brother helped me out in the courts to make sure Hiroto was found guilty. I got my compensation money. At the same time, I added some blur into the video so that people couldn't tell the exact location and sent it anonymously to Jory's workplace. I also posted it on Twitter. She must have been very uncomfortable in her office because she eventually quit, and all of her friends left her because the video went viral on Twitter. Of course, the two broke it off. After everything was said and done, I went to the manager to say thanks. He said, "Just keep on coming by our bar, huh?" He was such a kind man. I gotta thank Misa-san, but the store manager helped me out too. I was able to ask out Misa-san and we started dating. At the same time, I found a new shop to work at, and I was able to find a much better place to work. I get better pay and less time working outside of regular hours, so I'm able to secure time for dates. My job and time with my girlfriend, I'm gonna keep pushing forward and working toward things I love.